Well, Markee Dragon, also known as Marcus Eikenberry in real life, and welcome to Sunset. Out in Ocean Springs again. Where else would I be? So we're out at the southern tip of the Gulf of Mexico, and behind me here I have one of the houses that was not wiped out by the last hurricane, but was probably built on stilts like that after Hurricane Katrina, because Katrina wiped out everything along here. And so I just figured, I know that I'm pretty dark in the picture, but I wanted to capture the sunset for y'all. And it's actually a really nice scape. It'd be even better if I was out of the picture right here, huh? But I'll stay in it. So, okay, I have a great question from Gregory. Now, I've talked about Kickstarter and some of the success of Kickstarter, some of the really successful stuff like Oh Yeah, and the Sauropod Studios with their Castle story, Carmageddon, Hidden Path Studios with Defense Grid, their newest one. All of those, I am a backer, and I have helped fund the development of all those games. Oya being a game console. Now, here's why I'm so excited about Kickstarter, and that's because I get the vote in what happens in there. And so I see that, and I say, I want to be a part of that. Well, I can be. I just put my money down, and I got it. So, you know, so what I have is a question here from Gregory, and it's about Kickstarter. And it's a little bit lengthy, but let me read this to you. So he says, he's Gregory, aka Wowaddict, and Slyswine, probably his name's in game. And he has a question. He would like to know how he could go about creating a Kickstarter campaign for an MMO. I know there are tons of people out there who want to do the same thing and probably can program. It means like programming games, but I cannot. Referring to himself, I can't either. So, okay. He says, I've been coming up with ideas for MMOs for years, and fine-tuning the ideas even before I played MMOs. I know Allods, A-L-L-O-D-S, spent $12 million to make their free-to-play game. That's a lot of money. So how would I go about creating a Kickstarter without any programming abilities to showcase my ideas? He says, I can illustrate some images and such, but I'm not sure if I would get the desired effect. Basically, the idea is a sandbox MMO that combines aspects of Minecraft, Rift, WoW, and Guild Wars, but ultimately has a completely different approach to class. Jet ski going by, getting a little noisy maybe, especially with the shotgun mic, which can pick up all the way out there. Wow, look at that beautiful sunset. That is amazing looking. So, he says, you know, that he's got all these ideas and everything, and how would he go about raising the money? Well, the money question is what everybody who is doing Kickstarter wants to know, and it is it's something that if I knew the magic bullet, you know, the elixir for the spell or whatever to make that happen, I would just do my own. Here's what I've seen with failures and successful campaigns on Kickstarter. Let's talk about the failures first. There's a lot of games out there that I've looked at that don't meet their minimums, and because when this is a theme, a trend between all of them. It is not the absolute answer. There can be stuff that fits what I'm about to say and still be successful. I'm just talking as a general rule and as of my observation. So, golly, look at that sunset. That looks just beautiful. Here, do we want to zoom in on that? Let's see here. Let's see here. Can I zoom in on this? We'll enjoy the sunset here for a little bit while I'm talking. And man, that is just gorgeous. Okay, let's see if that focuses in now. And nope, it is having trouble focusing in on that. Okay, I'll turn the filter back off on that, and it does just fine. So, okay, I don't need to be in the picture at the moment. So, I can tell you that the successful, or the ones that have problems, they look amateur. And so they, unless they intentionally want it to look like crayon drawings, you know, and stuff for their ideas, that's what kind of stuff they have. They have ideas that are not really well thought out. Now, Kickstarter, the company, they actually do filter out a lot of things. There's a lot of steps you have to go through to get a campaign approved. And so even if you qualify on all of that, you can still have something dumb. And I'm glad that they don't take out the dumb stuff, thinking that it's dumb on their own. I'm glad that they don't remove that stuff, because if they did, they would actually remove the ability for some really unique stuff. And because it's those things that nobody thinks is going to be of any consequence, or that isn't going to be a hit. You don't want it to be up to one person, and that's part of the beauty of Kickstarter, is that it is up to all of us to decide whether or not we want to fund something. And so anyway, the the stuff that I've seen that fails looks amateur. And also, they talk a lot of hypothetical. They don't talk about having experience and stuff. So let's start talking about some of the stuff that is working, that does work for people. And that is when you have a product that you have the prototype already made. You just now need money for manufacturing. You've proven your concept. There was a watch that I saw in there that connects via Bluetooth to your Android or Apple phone. And it can read things like your GPS and pedometer and everything, and it can do stuff back and forth with your phone. It can also, you know, get your pulse and everything, so that I can transmit all of this information back to your phone and make it a more dynamic workout experience, like when you're jogging and stuff. And they had a prototype that they had made, and it functioned, and they got an amazing amount of money funding them. So then also, you know, there's games out there like Carmageddon, the latest Carmageddon. They got funded, and part of the reason they got funded is they were a studio that had previously made the previous version of Carmageddon, but then also they were we'll come back out here again. They were also they also had a lot of experience with making games, and so that they're like, okay, well, we can use this engine here and everything. Serapod Studios, their most recent one, the one that I'm so excited about, that is, it's the game Castle Story, which looks a lot like Minecraft, but also looks like you know, a real-time strategy and everything. And that one, they had a working prototype, and they were just encouraged to go and put it on Kickstarter to see what would happen. They just graduated from school making, you know, in video game design. And I think they said that their professor encouraged them to take this up to Kickstarter and see what would happen. You know what happened? They asked for, I think it was $80,000, and they went, gosh, what was it, $900,000 or something like that. Anyway, they greatly exceeded it. Oh yeah, they had a kind of a concept here. They had kind of a working model of how they were going to make this new console, and they teamed up with people in the industry who really know console design and everything. And so they were putting it all together as a package, and because they had all that experience there and everything, and they were able to demonstrate that in their Kickstarter campaign, they were able to get the funding that they wanted. There's something that goes on in the video game industry which you may not be aware of, and that is taking games in steps. There are a lot of MMOs out there that are more independent MMOs that went through a process that you may not be aware of. And this process goes something like this. Let's first make an Android game, or a tablet game, or iPhone game, or a Flash game for like, you know, for Facebook or whatnot. Or nowadays you should be programming HTML5 game. And I'm going to turn the camera around here now because I think that, well, I don't know. It's starting to light up again. Oh my God. Okay, so we're actually going to zoom in here again. And, ooh, is that a ship out there? It is. Look at that. The boat out there. So they go through this process that is to create a small game that has some of the game concepts in it, like the backstory and the some of the gameplay, like let's say character fighting or something like that, which would be just one little component in a massive MMO. And so then what they do is they put this game out, they get some sales, they see whether or not people are actually responding to it and like it, or not, whether it's a total failure. And if it's a total failure, they may consider that they're not going to go on to the next level. But if it's a success, then they can take it to the next level, not only from their earnings that they've gotten from this first game, but they can also then say, hey, I have history. I have actually made a game before successfully. Let's see. Let's zoom in on these guys just a little bit more, and you know, oh, it's getting dark enough to where it's starting to have trouble focusing. And okay, we're putting this on manual focus now, and there we go. Let's see here, infinity. So they have their first game, they have success with it and everything, and then they need to make the second game, which still wouldn't be a full MMO. It'd be something like a real-time strategy or an adventure game or something like that, something that is another component of the full MMO. And then anyway, then if they're successful with that, they've got more of the storyline there, they've got more of the mechanics involved and everything, and so now they have something that they can go to the next level with. And so let's see here, I'm gonna go ahead and come out here. We're gonna, this is like a world tour here on the beach, and we're gonna raise this up. Yeah, you can see how I do everything out here. So okay, so the now you have the expertise and the wisdom, the knowledge needed to go on to the next step. And so what you have to do to have a successful Kickstarter campaign is you have to have you have to have trust in all of the people who are viewing what you've got there, and it has to be a realistic number that you ask for. You know, what is the low-end number that you can make the game for? Now add 50% or maybe even 100% to that, and then you can forgot to change the focus from manual. Now it's on automatic again. So then you have to, you know, you have to, your estimate is going to be too low because you always come across things that you don't know about. Or you have somebody else in the wind who you say, okay, if I raise $500,000 or $1 million for this project, are you willing to fund the rest of the development? And they say, well, how much is the development going to be? Well, you know, to do a small end, you know, maybe 2 million. To do big, we're looking at 10 or 12. Maybe even higher. Depends on where your goals are. So then if you have somebody like that, that is an angel investor, that will do that, then you can shoot for a lower number that you're pretty sure you can hit. And here's one of the things, here's one of the bonuses of Kickstarter. And that is that if you do successful on Kickstarter, you've just gotten a whole bunch of attention. And you now have dedicated fans who have spent their money, they have a vested interest in seeing how you do, and they're going to be very proud of having been a contributor to the development of the game. They're going to do everything in their power to make sure that you're successful, and they're going to tell all their friends about how great this game is that's coming out. What a win-win-win on marketing. And so when the game releases, you have this built-in fan club. You have, you know, 50,000 evangelists out evangelizing your game. I mean, how much better does it get than that? I can tell you that some of these campaigns out here, like Sauropod Studios with Castle Story, I am so excited that I contributed, I don't know, it was $60 or something like that for 2 accounts. And it was only $30, you know, $30 to get beta access and to get an account. And, you know, to me, well worth it. Especially when the game comes out, and the game is going to retail, they say, I don't know what they think it's going to retail for, but, you know, to me, it was worth it. And so with that, you know, said, now, as soon as I got the beta client and I'm able to play, you better believe I'm going to be live streaming. I'm going to be doing videos on it. Every development piece that they come out with, I'm going to be there right from the beginning, and I hope to be one of the, you know, biggest channels for getting information about Castle Story. Really. I just am so excited about it, and can't wait. And the wheels are turning in my head about all the things that I'm going to do, and how much I'm going to support it, and how I'm going to talk about it so much and everything. And so, you know, for me paying them $60, they then get all my marketing time. Oh my God. It doesn't get any better than that. I mean, it's just amazing. So anyway, I wish you luck on this. I think that given what you wrote to me, just what you wrote to me, and don't take this the wrong way, but I feel like you have a lot of experience that you need to gain before you can attempt this. And but let me give you a simpler idea. Let me give you an idea on something that maybe you can do. Why don't you create, you said you could do art. Why don't you create a game that's going to happen within your MMO? A card game. Why don't you create that card game and draw up all of the cards, all the artwork on them, make out all the rules for it and everything, and then put up your Kickstarter campaign, and that Kickstarter campaign is for the production run of the game. And so you really only need $5,000 or something like that to get the game into production. And you'll have, you know, so you already know ahead of time exactly what it's going to cost you to produce the game. And so at just a little bit more than your cost, including shipping and everything, just a little bit more than your cost is what you have as a reward. So it's going to be $10 a copy of the game, or $15 or $20, whatever, whatever your cost is. So let's say it's $10, so make it $13 minimum investment, and they get a copy of the game sent to them, you know, for $20, you will give them a certificate as one of the founders of the game, you know, one of the people who did that. And for, I don't know, you know, $150, $200, $300, $400, something like that, that you'll make them actually a part of the game. That you'll have some, you know, if you're a good artist, and you'll take their likeness and you'll put their likeness in as one of the characters on one of the cards. And, you know, you'll make them into a troll or into an orc or, you know, into a witch, whatever. So that is how you can entice them to get your funding. And you know, it can be your start. So go forth and do this. If you do get a Kickstarter campaign up and running, please let me know. I would love to know. Oh, look at them fish jumping. Huh. I was hearing something back there, and it turns out it's fish jumping. I don't know if you can see them on camera, but they're definitely jumping. So let me know if you get a Kickstarter campaign up and running. I would love to actually be involved with that, to maybe do a video about it and everything. And if you, as a viewer, all of you, get any Kickstarter campaigns going for anything that is video game related or maybe cool technology that video game players would like, please let me know. I would be happy to take a look at it and maybe even cover it. So, but for that kind of stuff, don't send me a message in YouTube. I sometimes, you know, YouTube messages sometimes takes me a long time to get to. Please find my email and email me. Just Google Marcus Eikenberry, and I'm sure you can find my email. Or I'll just tell you, but if I get a whole bunch of spam, I'm gonna be so mad. So, markee@gmail.com, markee@gmail.com. Email me there, and I will be happy to take a look at your Kickstarter stuff. And you know, if it's something that is really that I find to be really exciting and stuff, I'll be one of your big supporters. I'm Markee Dragon. Take care. Well, thank you for making it this far. Now that you have, can I interest you in another video? So, what we've got here on the upper left is part of my entrepreneurial series where I talk about what really motivates me to work so hard and why I would rather work for myself 80 hours a week instead of for someone else 40. I know that may not make sense, huh? So, upper right, are you a werewolf? I review a Kickstarter campaign that talks about being a werewolf or not. It's a great game that's a lot of fun. I have actually played it, and now it may be over by the time the Kickstarter campaign may be over by the time you see this, but it'll give you a little bit of a look into the game itself and some Kickstarter stuff. So, on the lower left, that is Morgan Lean that I'm interviewing from Epiphany Games. He is a game publisher and designer, and so he owns a publishing company. He's the CEO of Epiphany Games, and I talked to him about if you are looking to study video games to get into the industry, you'll want to watch that video. It's a great interview. He has a lot of great things to say, and really a lot of fun. Lower right, if you are into making YouTube videos, I discovered that YouTube is looking at the images in your videos and then suggesting keywords based off of what it sees. And I found proof of that. And I don't know if that's scary or not, but it kind of really surprised me. And so that video is on my personal vlog channel. And I'm just talking about whether or not that's okay, and how I feel about it, and the cool fact that YouTube is actually doing that, and so it's part of how they come up with their keyword tool suggestions. So, thank you very much for watching, and take care.